Hello, welcome to week 3 of summer program. This week we are focusing on East Central Michigan. So I've created a slide presentation for you. And what we are going to do is I am going to teach you a little bit about this region of Michigan. And while doing that, I'm going to have you help me spell some of the words that we talk about. So on this first slide here, I have an arrow pointing to East Central Michigan. So this purple area right here is the area that we'll be talking about. And one thing I learned about that area is that they call the thumb area. And the reason I call it the thumb area is because we can talk about Michigan using our hand because it looks like a mitten. They call the thumb area of Michigan the blue water area. So that's the area we're going to focus on. So I put a map of Michigan in here. And just taking a look at Michigan, you can see that one of the things about it is that it is surrounded by water. The entire state of Michigan is surrounded by water. So here, we're going to spell the word water. I have most of the letters there, but I'm going to have you help me figure out the very first letter. So let's listen to the word water. 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 What letter makes the sound w? What do you think? W. W makes the sound w. So you spell water, W-A-T-E-R. All right. Now we're going to go back to taking a look at the map of Michigan. And we are going to focus in on this water over here, because this is the area we're focusing on. There's a large body of water here that lines with that area, and that is Lake Huron. So here I've added a picture of Lake Huron, and we are going to spell the word lake. 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 What letter says L? Lake. Let's see. L. L-A-K-E. Lake. Good job. Okay, so let's take a look at the map again. And we talked about Lake Huron. And another thing I want to draw your attention to is this area right here in the little crevice of the mitten. That area is called Saginaw Bay. So a bay, and this shows it from way up above in an airplane. You can see that this area right here, the bluish green area, is the water, and the rest of it around it is the land. And a bay, all it means is that it's a large body of water that is within the curve of land. It's where land curves in, and there's a large body of water that goes into that curve. And that's all it is. It's a bay. So how do you spell bay? Bay. What letter says B? B. You're right. B-A-Y. That's how we spell bay. Okay. And whenever you have a lot of water around, you always see a lot of boats. Here is a picture actually of people hanging out in Saginaw Bay. So you can see there's a pontoon boat, there's some fishing boats. And the last picture of Lake Huron, it showed a sailboat. So wherever you have a lot of water, you'll have people out on boats. So let's spell the word boat. Boat. There's that B sound again. Same sound that our last word, bay started with? What letter do you think? Yep, B. B-O-A-T. That's how you spell boat. The next picture I've included is a picture of a lighthouse, because that is something else you will find in areas where there are large bodies of water. And with Lake Huron being right there, there are lighthouses in the area that we're talking about. This particular lighthouse is called the Fort Gratiot Lighthouse, and this is in Port Huron. This is actually the first lighthouse that was ever built in Michigan. So this is the oldest lighthouse in Michigan, and it still works. So how do we spell lighthouse? Lighthouse is a long word, and as you can see, I already have a lot of letters there. But we need to know the first letter of lighthouse. 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 What letter says L? L. L. Lighthouse. The word lighthouse starts with the word L. You guys are doing really well with this. Okay, let's take a look at this next picture. This is a picture of a bridge that is in the region of Michigan that we're talking about. This is the Blue Water Bridge. This bridge connects Port Huron to Canada. So it connects our state of Michigan to a whole nother country, Canada. So this is actually an international bridge. So bridge is the word we're going to focus on. How can we spell the word bridge? B. There's that B sound again. Do you remember what letter says B? B. B-R-I-D-G-E. Spells bridge. Nice. All right, we will move on. Now, this is a picture of a farmer out in his field. So one of the things that the area of Michigan we are looking at, the East Central area, is known for is it has really fertile soil. Now, there are a lot of areas in Michigan where there is not a lot of farming because the soil is not very good for farming. So in this particular area, there is really fertile soil, and it is well known for farming. So this is a picture of a farmer out in his field farming. What does the word farming start with? What letter says F? If you said F, you are right. Farming starts with the letter F. And now while we're on the topic of farming, one of the biggest crops that they produce in that part of the state is corn. Corn. And we do have a couple of letters on our alphabet that say K, don't we? C says K, and K says K. Does anyone know which one we want to use here when spelling the word corn? Would it be C or a K? Corn. It's a C. C-O-R-N. That's how you spell corn. And now I'm going to show you one more picture. This is actually a sugar beet. Sugar beet is another crop that is produced in the east central part of Michigan. And sugar beets are actually the sugar, table sugar that we use, the white table sugar, is made out of either sugar cane or sugar beets. So we produce a lot of sugar beets in the east central area of our state. So we're going to spell the word beet. B, 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 beet, beet. We should know the letter B says b, b. We've had a lot of words that start with that letter, haven't we? B, b, beat. All right, so we have talked about the sound that the W makes, w, w. We had water. We talked about water around the state of Michigan. We have talked about the sound that the letter L makes. We talked about Lake Huron and lighthouses. We heard a lot of words and spelled a lot of words that started with the letter B, didn't we? We talked about bay, the Saginaw Bay. We talked about how when there's a lot of water, people like to go out in boats. We took a look at the Blue Water Bridge, and we talked about how sugar beets are made in the east central part of Michigan, or are produced there. Beets. We also talked about farming and how that starts with the letter F. F says. And we talked about the letter C, how we have two letters that make the k sound, but today we use the letter C to spell corn. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I figured it would be a good way to teach you a little bit about our state of Michigan and stick with things that we learn about in the classroom a lot, like letter sounds. So I hope you enjoyed this activity, and I will see you again on Thursday for our math lesson. See you soon. Bye.